So if you've ever watched anything about how to make videos, you've probably heard the term filmmaking, or perhaps content creation itself. So that's why in today's video, I'm going to share with you my 5-step algorithm so that you too can create better videos. Alright, so moving straight into number 1, and that is research. Something that is very important, but may often be overlooked because it's just something so simple and it's just really an extra task that you probably don't want to do in the first place. But if you do some research, it can really help make your video stand out and overall just perform better because you know what is working in that type of niche. Now, what I mean by research is simply typing in the idea or kind of topic that you're thinking you want to make your video on into the YouTube search bar. And by doing this, YouTube will bring up videos on this topic. And what this will do for you is make sure that you can see all of the other videos that are already maybe doing well or maybe even not, or seeing the different types of videos that are doing a lot better than the others, also known as an outlier. And a tool that I love using to help me do this is simply the vidIQ Chrome extension, which can be totally free, gives you lots of different information and insight, more than just YouTube telling you the views. So if you do want to do more in-depth research like this, I would definitely recommend going to get vidIQ. And by looking at all of these different types of videos, you'll really be able to see if they're following the same type of genre or if many of them are completely different styles. Because if you do find that maybe they're a lot of the same style, you could either just try and blend in with those or make something quite a bit different so that hopefully your video on the same topic will stand out more to people because they like to see something different, which is actually pretty important. By doing this, you're not only just watching the videos to see what people are doing for this, but you're also making sure that you know about your topic, because it's really hard to show, teach, or even talk about something if you don't know about it well. Even if you don't know about it like at the top tier level, it's still important to at least have a good baseline so that you can make your video well informed around that, because probably the most important thing that you can do for your audience is making it worth their time. Moving on to number 2, and that is title and thumbnail. The most important part of your video is what people are going to see first, which is going to be most likely the thumbnail and then the title. So you want to put quite a bit of effort into these two things, as it's going to be the first and maybe only thing that people see. So what I usually do is simply think of a thumbnail and title idea based off of what I was seeing from my research phase, looking through other people's videos and which ones were doing better with different thumbnails and titles. And I try to make something that is nice and simple and short so that it's nice, quick, and easy to read, which makes things pretty dang simple for me, as I just need to figure something out. Now, something that I usually do for this, because I struggle most times with this on trying to come up with different title ideas, because you want to try and have couple, like at least 1 or 2, so that you have different ways of putting what you want. So what I will usually do sometimes is I'll just ask AI to give me some different ideas, and this will really quickly give me 15 to 20 different title ideas so that I can just pick through them, and even if I don't like them, it will just get my gears turning and make my brain start thinking more along the lines that I want to go for. And for my thumbnails, I don't necessarily make my thumbnails before I actually do anything else. What I usually do is simply come up with an idea for it and then just do a light sketch and description of what I want to make. This way that you have something down so that you can't forget it, which can be key so that you can keep those good ideas when you come up with them. But something else that I do to help my titles stand out is I will look at a lot of the different titles from many different videos that are on my topic, and I'll try to put some of those together instead of just copying one or the other, and just trying to make something that will include more than just one thing, making it so that it will be worth it for the viewer to watch your video instead of the others. going straight to number 3, and this is going to be planning, or scripting, whatever you would like to call it. This is basically the phase where I write down all of my different ideas, and what I like to do is not just make a full-on script, because I kind of suck at following them. So what I usually do is write down some pinpoints and then maybe expand on those a little bit more so that I have a better idea while I'm filming, so I can make it go quite a bit quicker. Because if I'm just trying to think of things on the spot, it doesn't go very well, and I just want to refilm so it can go better, which can just end up taking a lot of extra time when it doesn't really have to. So when I am planning, what I like to do is simply go back to my title and thumbnail, and you want to basically work off of those because you want to give what you promise. So you want to plan based off of your title and thumbnail so that you know what you promised, so now you can act on those promises so that you can't disappoint anybody, making it a lot easier to just structure your video because you already have your title and thumbnail, making sure that you already have people clicked on it, and now you just need them to stay, which is the most important part, because all you need them to do is just keep watching so that YouTube can let them stay on the platform, thus making everybody more happy. But notes don't just help while you're filming your video. They can also help you work faster in post, meaning that you simply just remember the storyboard, I guess, of what you were thinking, so it just jogs your memory while you're editing so that you keep that same story that you came up with in your head instead of kind of doing something different than you originally thought, although that's totally okay. And number 4, this is quite an important one, filming/editing. I'm just going to put these two together. And what I like to do here is simply work off of my notes, which I guess is a very important factor because now that you have a plan, all you're doing is executing it, which can make things a lot easier because you just know what you're doing next instead of setting everything up and then trying to figure out what you want to do and how you want the video to move along. Like I said, it just makes things go a lot quicker. This way it can just be a more streamlined process, and it is a lot easier to just make it more fun, and especially for someone like me because I film in my room where I sleep, where I work, where I do school. I do everything here, so I can't just leave things set up and go from there. I have to take everything out, set it up, film, and then put everything back away, which is pretty time consuming by itself. So you want to really minimize how many times you have to do this, making things a lot faster and just more fun in general, because you never want to get things back out because you forgot to film something, or you just want to add and you hadn't thought of it before. By making the plan, it just goes so much simpler. But the great thing about filming content like this is, although you have a plan, you don't necessarily have to follow it. And in fact, I almost never follow my plans exactly. Although I follow the main basis of the video topic and try and keep the words and the shots more streamlined, what I like to do is simply come up with different ideas throughout the whole video so that it can go a lot better and have some more personal touches. Now, I'm smart. But while I have all of my gear out, I don't just film, because we still need a thumbnail. So while I have everything out, I set that up and get my thumbnail, or maybe 1 or 2 at that, which is a very key part because, again, I don't want to get all of my stuff out multiple times because that just takes so much time. But then after I have filmed everything that I want and double checked against my notes, the first thing that I do before I start editing or put my gear away is simply watch through all of my footage to see if it sounds good, looks good, or if it just turned out how I wanted it. Because, well, this is an important part as, again, I don't want to get my gear out multiple times. But once I look over my footage and I've decided that it's good enough to keep, we can go ahead and start the editing process, which is pretty simple. I have a whole video about this that I made quite a while ago, but you can go ahead and watch that, and it's my 5-step or 3-step editing process, which goes in a little more in-depth on what that looks like. And step number 5, uploading it to YouTube. This is a very crucial step as it is the final one at that. Uploading a video to YouTube can be the make or break of your video by implementing your title, your thumbnail, which should already be good, but then you also need things like tags, descriptions, or even just adding it to playlists, which is a pretty rough task by itself. But what I like to do for things like my description and tags is, yet again, ask AI to give me some help. All I have to do is tell it what the video topic is about, and then it can give me some different description ideas, and I can work with it to help personalize it and make it more how I want. Plus, it will give me tags that I can just copy and paste into my video so that I have a good amount and it's not just a couple things that I thought of on the spot, which can be very helpful for the YouTube search engine. But then after you've uploaded your video, you're just about done. There's only one more thing to do, and that's to make the next one. I'll see you there. I'm trying to think of the word. Oh my gosh, that's a space for my brain.